Padilla. I'd like to begin by showing you a short video that I got from YouTube, which is a drone view of the Angel Stadium. A quick overview of the Angel Stadium. It was originally built in 1966 and was home to the Angels up about till 1970 to 84 when the Rams were sharing it. Up until then, it was a baseball-only venue, but then it quickly converted into different events during the off-season. There was also a stint when Disney owned it from 96 to 2003, I believe, 2004, sorry. And during that stint, the Disney Corporation owned the stadium. As you can see, they renovated it. They have banners of the only championship team that the Angels have ever had, which was in 2002. They also put a bunch of like big bats, made it like a real all baseball facility for the Angel Stadium. It is the fourth oldest park in baseball history as well, which makes it really interesting. I'd also like to mention the Big A, which according to ballparkdigest.com, originally it was twice as big as any other building in OC. It originally cost $1 million to build as well. And if you're driving through the 5 freeway, you used to be able to see it real good. But now there's condos and commercial buildings that are just as big as it, so you can barely see the tip. However, if you're driving down the 57 freeway, you can still see it like real good. It's hard to miss. And every time you're driving by, you always feel like peeking inside the stadium just to see what's going on inside there. Today, if you haven't realized, my topic is going to be the Angel Stadium. And I am going to enlighten you today on how the original design of the Angel Stadium was for the fans. So I'm going to be speaking about the inner workings of Angel Stadium, also the various food menus, and as well, since it's the fourth oldest ballpark, there's a lot of Hall of Fame baseball moments that have happened at the Angel Stadium. Plus, there's also various other events that they hold there other than baseball during the off-season that make the stadium very fan-friendly. Here's the seating chart that I downloaded from MLB.com. And as you can see, it might be hard to see, but there's 6 gates, which make the design, they purposely designed it like that, so the fans, when they park in the parking lot, they can park near their seats and they can just go straight to the area instead of walking all the way through the park. There's 3 levels, including the floor. There's too many club levels for me to mention, but what I can mention is there is a Anaheim Stadium Club, which is a private venue, and it's where they serve gourmet food. And there's also the Anaheimer, which is a public venue where they sell regular food. And throughout the whole park, they have your traditional baseball food like hot dogs and popcorn and peanuts and stuff like that. And they also have the famous nachos inside the baseball helmet, which is a fan favorite. Now, like I said before, the stadium was originally built for the fans. So, of course, when you go in the stadium to watch a game, well, it was kind of hard to hear, but it was supposed to be a Hammond X66 organ, which they play inside the stadiums. They play various traditional songs like Take Me Out to the Ball Game and whatnot. So that's something that's real cool for the fans. They also have a traditional waterfall and rocks, which a lot of older ballparks have. And all the players try to hit a home run there, and some of the hardcore fans even jump inside that area to try to get the ball, which is pretty cool. There's also a billboard inside the stadium which has the players' stats when they're up. It has the pitcher stats. It has the scores from around the league, so you know the standings for all the baseball teams. Plus, it also has the count. And for $35, you can also write a message, like a little note on the bottom of the scoreboard, which is pretty cool for the fans. With that being said, like I said, it's the fourth oldest ballpark in baseball history, so there have been various Hall of Fame moments there. For example, this guy on the left, Nolan Ryan, he managed to get 2 no-hitters while on the Angels at the Angels Stadium. And there's also the man on the right, Reggie Jackson, who, despite critics said was past his prime because he was known as Mr. October while he was with the Yankees. He managed to get his 500 home run at the Angels Stadium, which is a pretty cool moment for Angels Stadium and baseball in general. But nothing was as impressive as this man, Albert Pujols, who, according to StatCast.com, the pitch he hit was over 100 miles per hour at a 45-degree angle, and the probability of him hitting it was only 12%. So not only did he hit the ball and get a home run, his 600th home run, he was able to do, out of all the 8 players who have done it, he's the only one who's been able to do it via grand slam, which is very impressive. Like I said, this stadium is originally designed for the fans, so they have various other events that are very fan-friendly. For example, Monster Jam and Motocross, where both of those events, they haul in tons of dirt to set up the courses. Except for Monster Jam, there are monster trucks who race each other. Sometimes they run over cars and whatnot. And Motocross is just motorcycles where they race each other during the season. And there's also an event called Foam Glow, which I looked up, and according to Active.com, originally started in Arizona. And what it is, it's a 5K run where contestants run through various zones with different colored foam, and there's a black light. And there's also, at the end of the race, when you complete it, you get a medal. And originally it was meant for kids' cancer, but now I believe they said that they can donate to any charity of their choice. Like I said, this ballpark is the 4th oldest, so it's the 4th oldest ballpark. And as you can see, the design was meant for the fans originally, and the concept still remains. It's definitely a fan-friendly stadium that has had various Hall of Fame baseball moments, and they have several food venues and sections that can accommodate fans of all palates and of all price ranges. And also they hold various events that are fan-friendly as well. Thank you.
All right, Billiana, what did you think?
I really liked it. He never really specified what his topic was in the beginning, but later went to say that it was about the Angel Stadium and revolved around the architect, the food, and the history. I caught one source that he used to credit what he was saying, but he could have used more to make what he was saying a little bit more reliable. But he didn't use any note cards, which was really nice, and it made him look really well prepared. You spent a lot of time looking at the board and speaking to it instead of looking at us, but other than that, you did a really good job. And I liked how you used a video to give an overlook of the stadium, and I liked how you showed a diagram of the stadium and broke down each part of the stadium and explained what each part represented. I really liked it, and overall, I think you did a really good job, and your speech was really well prepared.
All right. I think the opening section, you're there, so. I think the video, I appreciate that you kind of introduced the video. I think that makes a little bit more sense than just showing the video, letting us know that something is coming. That helps quite a bit. And your subject is pretty obvious. That's fine. It takes you 2 minutes and 34 seconds to get to the part where you're telling us what the point of the speech is. So you are more than a third of the way into the speech before we know exactly what your goal is. I like the idea of the fan-friendly theme that you're talking about here, and I was wondering how that was going to be emphasized in the presentation. And I did hear 2 or 3 places where that did become an issue, and you were trying to focus on that. I think that needed to be a little bit more part of the organizational structure. So when you were talking about, let's talk about what makes the architecture and the structure of the place fan-friendly. Let's talk about what the inner workings, the food things, what's fan-friendly about those things, and let's talk about what's fan-friendly about the Hall of Fame moments and about the other activities that go on there. I think I needed to have that in the structure so it reminds us of that particular theme. It does come up in a couple of spots. Like in the first spot, I thought that it made a lot of sense when you talked about the parking, and as long as you know what gate you're going into, you can park near that gate and you don't have to walk all the way around the stadium to go into a single main gate. I like that idea. That's perfectly fine. Trimming some stuff, for instance, to make things work a little bit better and give you a little bit more leeway. The whole thing about the Big A, it's interesting, but it's not really one of those things that's about your fan-friendly theme, so we can probably pull that out. Some of the Hall of Fame stuff, those are important moments at the stadium, but since it's this fan-friendly theme that you're going on, what is it about those moments that is about that fan-friendly thing? Is there something special at the stadium that commemorates those things so that we can remember it? I'm going to go to Anaheim Stadium in just a couple of weeks. We're going for Fullerton College night at Angel Stadium, and I'm thinking, well, is there a place that I can go and stand where Reggie Jackson's 500th home run was hit, or I can see, is there a place where Nolan Ryan has his handprints in the wall, and I can see something like that, or there's maybe something like that. I don't know. But when you've got those things that you're talking about, they're fan-friendly, that's the one section that doesn't quite fit as well as everything else does in the speech. I thought most of the images that you used were pretty good. They help organize things. I could see that there's a structure in the speech. I heard a source citation or 2. Probably there's a little bit more that you can put into the presentation. I know your information came from someplace, though. I also appreciate the fact that you weren't over-dependent on notes. I did, however, notice that you talked primarily to me, which I appreciate, but there are 26 other people in this room that might have liked to have had you look at them occasionally too. And that's just, I know why that happens. It's like, well, that's the guy who's evaluating me. This is my class, it's his class, I got to pay attention to him. But I'm paying attention to everybody else here. That wasn't a big deal this time, but next time it's going to be a big deal on the next assignment, because that's one of the things that we'll be working about. Okay, thank you.